Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And let me tell you something. If there's anybody that knows how to pour salt on an open, festering, painful, bloody wound, it's Andrew Capu Cuomo. I keep going with Capu. Capo Cuomo. Man, I think it's the Andrew. I can't get it off, but you guessed it, because of COVID 1984, there will be no memorial lights at the World Trade Center this year. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, Jason, haven't you exposed 9/11 as something that was orchestrated, something that we were lied to about, something that promoted the military industrial complex, the neocons, the PNAC crew, the ones that wanted global dominance in Eurasia? You bet. You bet. But to the vast majority of people in New York City, although this is a national symbol, this symbolizes the firefighters, the police officers, and the other lives that were lost, the almost, 3,000 in New York, across the board. Others were lost on the other three flights, obviously, and at the Pentagon. But for him to do this because of COVID concerns is absolutely nuts. It's bonkers. It makes no sense. Most people enjoy these from afar. People that want to come down to the scene and pay tribute to their lost loved ones should be able to. You've already canceled the ceremonies. And we're going to get into that story and so much more. I just, listened to. He's not doing the full-on press conferences anymore. He's doing a lot of these call-ins, these teleconferences. We're going to play a small portion of that. But all politics, just so much spin, it made me want to throw up, right? Listening to this guy spin what he's done to New York and blame Trump, we're going to get to that. Again, we've done the videos. We're showing you the mass exodus. We're showing you the trash on the street in New York City. We're showing you the sex offenders, the homeless, the drug addicts that are getting free hotel rooms, further creating a huge problem in an area where that was not a problem. Okay? We're showing you the New York State Bar Association putting it on paper that they want forced vaccinations not only for all New Yorkers, but the entire country. This guy is something else. And the big spin that bothered me is he keeps trying to spin the schools reopening because he doesn't want them reopened, right? He openly said he was going to pass legislation or make an executive order for mail-in voting for New York, okay? So we already knew he was going to do it, but now he's officially said he's going to have mail-in voting and not absentee ballot voting. Mail-in voting for New York. But he keeps trying to spin that the teachers and the parents are really concerned about sending their kids back to school, and he's made it easier for them. No. When I tell you the restrictions of what would be going on, not only the masks, but what if somebody just gets the sniffles? What if they just start coughing? We're not talking about a positive COVID case. We're talking about a kid getting sick in school. Well, I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to show you the documentation. And that was a big reason that the school district here in New York didn't want the kids to come back, because they didn't want to scare the shit out of them. Okay? That's one of the big prevailing factors, is they don't want to scare small children that they're going to have to isolate, then test, then God forbid they do come up positive. Because it's medical martial law here in New York State. Okay? Let me tell you that right now. It's very, very frightening. So guys, before we get to all these stories and more, okay, I need you to what? Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. We're fully demonetized here, going on past 4 months now. $5, $10, $15 in the GoFundMe link below means the world to me, guys. I'm a documentary filmmaker. They're still in the playlist section right now. Shade the Motion Picture, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, Fabled Enemies, and Loose Change Final Cut are all free right here. Make sure you're subscribed. You can support me over on Rockfin. And we got the t-shirt shop down below. Featured t-shirt right now is Your Life Matters, Your Skin Color Shouldn't Have to. Pretty proud of that one. I think it's a conversation starter and the right kind of conversation. So let's get to it. Twin beams of light won't shine during 9/11 tribute in New York City, which has already been scaled down. You know, again, they're not having the meetings. They're not going to be giving the speeches. It's really sad, man. Again, people, no matter what you believe happened there, I get it. It's history now, Jason. It happened in 2001, Jason. We're in 2020, Jason. It's 19 years ago now, Jason. We don't really have to remind people about it anymore, Jason. No, this is about the gutting of New York State. This is about the gutting of our culture. This is about pushing people out and then playing the blame game. Let's look right now, okay, at the document here. And this is, the recovering, rebuilding New York State schools. Okay, if the person, the kid, the child, okay, if they should get flushed cheeks, okay, have nausea, a sore throat, muscle, body aches, a headache, congestion, runny nose, just a cough. Now remember, they're already treating them like they need to be socially distanced and they have to wear a mask. Okay? So sore throats, run-of-the-mill stuff, diarrhea. How many of these kids are going to have COVID? Frequent use of the bathroom. Okay? If that happens, right? Anyone who has a temperature of 100 degrees or greater or has a positive response on the screening questionnaire. Okay? You ready? Temperature checks, the whole thing. Screening questionnaire must be isolated from others and sent home immediately. Students should be supervised in an isolated area while awaiting a transport home. Schools should refer such persons to healthcare providers and provide resources for COVID-19 testing. So get this, they're definitely going to have to be tested afterwards, and that brings the contact tracers into your life, the whole shebango. The whole shebango. We're talking about bringing them into a room where everybody's in PPE watching them. Look, hold on. Control F. Yes, we want isolated. Where is it? I keep forgetting I'm not right there. Right there. Here. Students suspected of having COVID-19 awaiting transport home by a parent guardian must be isolated in a room or a separate area from others while supervising adult utilizing appropriate PPE. Okay? It is nuts. Look at this. Closing off the areas used by the sick person. I mean, cleaning, disinfecting. Let's scare the hell out of a 7-year-old. Let's isolate them from their parents and their other school children, then quarantine them, then put them in contact tracers. This is why people don't want to send their kids back to school, and they're worried about it, because they don't want their kids to be guinea pigs. And, last night I went out. I tried to meet up with some buddies. I really hadn't done that much since I've been back in New York. Again, guys, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get my sister moving and figuring out whether she's coming with me or not. Believe me, the conversations are happening. But 2020 in a nutshell, a dry, unappealing hot dog on a bun that you didn't want and you didn't order, but it has to be there anyway. And all the other draconian things that are going on in New York, okay? If I go to want to get a beer at a bar, that has to sit in front of me. Let me show you also 2020. Okay? This was the second place. A corn dog. Do you want that thing? And they have to sit in front of me like I want it in a great LARP. And there you go. That's my bowl of soup. My God. And here's the thing. I didn't walk in with either of my friends because the one worked till 11 and then the other wasn't out until afterwards. So because I was at the bar before them, we could not sit together unless we wanted to go to a table together. And then we had to have the seats 6+ feet apart. My goodness, man. And this is a reality. Now, on the flip side of that, Cuomo wants to blame everything on Trump, including the New York State economy and failure here. And he even goes back to try to somehow equate what's happened, right? And he predicts that COVID-19 is going to be the number one issue all across the board in the elections, right? Well, why wouldn't it be? It's affected almost everybody on the planet, right? Number two, he's going to do the mail-in voting fraud. Okay, again, not absentee ballots, the mail-in voting fraud. The mail-in voting fraud. This is the guy. And he's joking about the virtual convention, all of it. It makes me sick. But here's what really made me sick. Okay, on top of everything we've talked about, from the schools to him basically making this into a political issue, to reversing everything. Now he's going to bring up, like, basically Trump's a racist, mentioning the Ku Klux Klan, and that's why we have high crime here. Because he admits that the crime has gone through the roof. It's up almost 300% in New York City. You know, shootings are up. They're all up. But he somehow blames that on Trump. Let's play it.
Crime is an issue in New York City. True. Now, the genesis of the crime, you can have a great debate about.
No.
But the Trump economy, Trump not providing COVID relief, George Floyd murder, Trump's response to the George Floyd murder, race relations stress, Trump, there are good people on both sides, Ku Klux Klan. So I think Trump has some liability for the increase in the crime.
Did you hear that? Somehow an increase in New York City crime is Donald Trump's fault, dating all the way back to the Charlottesville event. Okay? And then every other event that happened was somehow his fault. Cuomo's bad, man. He's absolutely terrible. That's race baiting. All right? And, you know, again, that's why I decided to make this t-shirt, because unless you're across the path of a psychopath, a murderer, like I've said, a child molester, a total sociopath, their life does matter, right? Their life does matter. And your skin color shouldn't have to. So I think it's a good conversation starter to let people know, look, brother, I want to judge you and everybody else by the content of your character, not the color of your skin. Let's not alienate one another from something that's so arbitrary, so superficial, right? So guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. I'm going to be coming back with a live stream rather shortly regarding Millie Weaver. It looks like she got arrested for burglary out in Texas, which is really bizarre. It's not like I'm a huge fan of Millie, but no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, no matter what you believe, I believe in free speech. So we're going to look at that, investigate it. Like I said, guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. You can order the t-shirts down below. You can also support me via the GoFundMe, $5, $10, $15. Big donors. You mean the world to me. Remember, we're fully demonetized here, but we do have the documentaries playlist section, Shade, Invisible Empire, Fabled Enemies, and Loose Change Final Cut, all free in that section. Ring that bell for notifications, and you can also support me over at rockfin.com. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.